This is so interesting. I approached my desk thinking, I've got nothing to say. I really don't know what I'm going to say. And then, again, just following that intuitive impulse, I said, hang on, let me just check my channel and see what's happened overnight. And guess what? I found a comment from someone in New York City who told me that my video reminded them of John Lennon's song, Yes is the Answer. And I thought, gosh, I am a big John Lennon fan. I mean, having said that, I never really get into anything so completely and thoroughly that I know everything about them. But I do know a little bit about John Lennon. And I actually have a story in relation to him. Nothing that, no personal encounter or anything like that, but for me, a very significant story nonetheless. But anyway, I digress. Let me go back to this comment that this person from New York City, and by the way, thank you so much for taking the time to leave the comment. So this person said, yeah, it reminded them of John Lennon singing Yes as the Answer. And so, of course, I wanted to see what this song was. And I looked up the lyrics, and gosh, I just, thought, what lovely lyrics. I mean, they might seem a little bit, I don't know, simple or trite or silly. But I just loved the lyrics, and excuse me. And it got me thinking, for somebody who approached the desk thinking she had nothing to say, all of a sudden there were so many things that I wanted to say, one of which is that, it reminded me of something that I said, I don't know, a few days ago. I said, you just never know who you're going to impact and how you're going to impact. Or rather, you know that you're always going to have some impact, but you don't know how. And this experience with somebody's comment is a perfect example of that I never knew that I would discover one of John Lennon's songs through a comment that somebody left as a result of my posting a video. So anyway, that was just such a beautiful way to start this video, I think, because like I said, I approached it not just not knowing what to think, but actually I was feeling a bit cross, to be honest. I was feeling a little bit cross about something that was happening, and I won't go into all of that. I don't need to be reminded of how I was feeling, but then to see that comment and then to be able to discover a song of John Lennon's that I hadn't known about, and now to be able to share that here, and to just think again, this is how we impact each other, this is how we influence each other. And yeah, there is no other true answer to the world, and the world has no other true answer to us other than yes. Now I am lost for words, and maybe it's okay to just be silent for a moment. And maybe share with you that I'm currently working on my research program, and my research is work with a philosopher called Maurice Merleau-Ponty. French philosopher who died much too young. 1961 was when he passed. And he died at the age of 53, and his research was in philosophy, of course. Well, what's so of course about that? No, nothing of course. I'm thinking in my own mind, I know all this stuff. So, yes, so the of course relates to the stuff that I already know, but that you obviously don't know. But yes, um, he he was a philosopher, and his discipline was primarily within phenomenology, which is really the study of experience. And the thing about phenomenology is its focus is entirely on describing rather than extrapolating and interpretation. It's very much about describing experience as they occur, what keeps it honest, what keeps it real. There are no layers of interpretation, and which is something that, for me, I value greatly. So, here we are. We've talked about John Lennon, who was a philosopher in his own right, and I've now shared with you the work, or at least the mention of another philosopher, Maurice Merleau-Ponty, and why I find it so extremely useful, especially because it really, really not just complements my meditation practice, but it gives it another language to work with. I think that's what's been really useful for me. Anyway, I don't want to say too much more because I don't really want to bore you. But if you're watching this, and if anything that I've said piques your interest, or triggers a certain reaction that might be interesting or helpful for you to reflect on, and hopefully you will want to share that here with us. I'd love to hear your comments, or read your comments rather. And once again, thanks to that person from New York City who shared that lovely little note about John Lennon, and his yes is the answer. Wherever you are, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll say bye for now.